And now to make something to shoot from our first-person controller, and we'll really, with this part of the tutorial series, be looking in detail at how you work with textures and shaders to make a material. So we're going to pick something simple to do this on, a cube, game object, create other cube. So way in there you can see it highlighted, so hovering over the scene I'm going to press F to zoom in on it. And you can see right now that there is no image on it, there's no texture, but you can see already right here that light is bouncing off of it differently. With our main light up there, the top is brighter than the side, and that's due to our shader, our default shader. But we're going to pick another one, and we're going to make our own texture to fully create the material. So since we're going to create our new material, let's go down to the materials folder and control click on it and create a new material. And we'll call this crate material. And for some reason I didn't get it in that folder, so I'll move it now into the materials folder. So on that material, I want to have both a regular image and what's called a normal map. So I'm going to change the shader from being that to being bump diffuse. And it's going to require two images, a regular one and a normal map, which is going to be how light bounces off of it. So for this, let's just get something from the internet and manipulate in Photoshop a little bit. So this is a crate. So to images.google we go and look up a crate from the side. And I like that, it's awfully big. And I don't like any of those, so I'm going to go back and take that awfully big one, copy it, move it into Photoshop, and go new. And I'm not going to take the size that it is, I'm going to make it the size that I want, which is 200 by 200. That should be right. I'm going to paste it in, it's going to be awfully huge. I'm going to go Command T and just keep on resizing it, holding Shift to constrain the proportions until it fits the size that I want, and enter out of the transform. So I'm going to go Save As, and importantly find the right place. Where am I? I think I'm saving on my desktop. I'm going to go by date modified if I can. And this is it right here. Okay, I'll go in my assets and textures. And I've got a ton, so I'm actually going to make a new folder called textures JSR, my initials. And it's a PSD, just the top format here. Photoshop document is fine. This is crate image. So that's the crate, and I'll go back now and I'll place it right now. So the texture, there it is. To preview it, we'll go to a different shape, which is the cube. You see it's all right, but it looks rather flat. The light just bounces off of it uniformly, and that's where the normal map comes into play. So we go back to Photoshop, and one easy way to do this is what I'm going to get you guys to do. Just go to Filter and Stylize and Emboss, and this has already got my nice trial run. Actually, that's even better. I would say that's too much. What you're trying to look for is contrast, basically. Contrast so that parts look higher than others, and so light will bounce off of them differently. One way or another, any of these are going to be fine, so I'm going to go OK and save as. And I'll just keep it here in the textures. Same thing, only I'll call it normal. And normal I know is a bit of a misnomer. Normal is not the normal image, it's the image that shows the way light bounces normally off of it. And you're going to see that difference applied now when we go back to Unity. And so again, look at this as I drag around it. And then watch what happens when I put on that crate image normal. See those highlights? And watch this when I preview around the way light is bouncing off. And it makes it look like it's actually carved in or embossed. So that actually worked out quite well. Create material. So that create material, which is down here, we're now going to add to our cube. So there's the cube. There's the create material. I'm going to drag over. And there you go. So our texture and our shader together have made a nice material. So now we'll make this into a prefab because it's going to be the code that works with it to attach it and shoot it. So it has to be a prefab. It just can't be sitting here on our scene. So our prefabs folder is right there. Drag the cube. I'm going to change the name of it. Cube to be crate. So the crate goes to the prefabs ready to be used by the code.